Hello, welcome to LifeTalk for Tuesday, December the 18th, 2018. I'm Mark Crutcher, and with us again this week is Sheila. She was out last week, but she's back this week. She floated to the top again, as did Renee, my worthy assistant. Hello, Renee.
Hello.
And it's almost Christmas for those that are viewing it online.
A week today.
Today would have been my mother's birthday, and she was born December 18th, but she's no longer here, of course. But anyway, we have got a lot of stuff to get to, and there's several things trending, so let's get to them. First off, we had Janet Porter on a couple of shows back talking about the heartbeat bill in Ohio, and we had some problems. Phony pro-lifer who was the president of the Senate, always claimed to be pro-life,
Was stalling the
bill, holding it up. And anyway, it finally got out of the committee, and it got voted on, and it got passed easily. And it has been headed toward the governor's office.
Yes.
He has vetoed it in the past. This is John Kasich, who's always claimed to be pro-life, but he's a liar.
Yes, and 2016 is when he vetoed it.
Yep. And he's probably going to veto it again. But right now, it looks like they have the votes to override the veto.
Yeah. They have the numbers, and plus the upcoming governor is supposedly a good pro-life guy.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of an update from the Ohio State Representative Candace Keller on the heartbeat bill, and they've been called back into the session on 12/27 to override the governor's veto of the heartbeat bill. Pray that we get the 60 votes that we need and 20 in the Senate. A perfect farewell gift to John Kasich.
Good parting gift for him.
He turned out to be a bald-faced liar.
Y'all know that I don't like politicians. I don't trust politicians. There are some politicians that are pro-life, and there are some good politicians. But to me, if you want to be a politician, then,
Stand on your promise and be true.
Right. Yeah. No, that's not the way things work up there.
It's like George Washington. I like George Washington because he didn't want to be president.
Yeah.
And,
right.
And there's a reason why he didn't want to be president. And
Well, it kind of reminds me of Trump a little bit. Not that he didn't want to be president. He wanted to be, but he's not your average politician here.
And that's why the Republicans and the Democrats alike hate his guts.
Yeah.
And you can see he's gotten stabbed in the back often by the Republicans as he's got stabbed in the chest by the Democrats. But
That's true.
Anyway, speaking of people who sold out, I remember, this would have been before y'all's time, but I remember when Oprah Winfrey first came on the scene, and she became something more than just a little local celebrity in Illinois and started becoming a nationally known person. And you'd see an interview with her, and she seemed like a really good Christian young lady with her head on straight and with good values. And of course, over the years, we've seen that that's not the case. Either she never was one of those kind of people, or her success in Hollywood and television changed her.
I don't get the hoopla about her anyway.
I don't either. I don't get it. But anyway, she has a lot of influence with a lot of people. Recently, on Thanksgiving Day, actually, her mother passed away. She was 83 years old. And Winfrey said she wanted to go talk to her before she died, spent the last few days. And she said, I wanted to tell her thank you because there was a concern when Oprah was conceived that her mother was going to have an abortion.
Her mother was young and struggling.
Black and struggling and poor and single.
Yeah.
And so her mother chose not to have an abortion. Apparently she was under some pressure to. And Oprah wanted to thank her for that and say, thank you for choosing life for me.
Because it wasn't the easy way out.
No, it wasn't. Abortion's the easy way out. Right.
She campaigns for shout your abortion, and and she promotes the easy way out for other people. But when it comes to her and her family,
she's glad to be alive.
That's why I chuckled. Oh, thank you for saving me, but these other babies,
they don't matter.
Yeah.
Who cares about them?
And I mean, it says, the article says that even her half sister was put up for adoption. And so, her mother put her half sister up for adoption, and then she chose not to abort Oprah.
Right.
And so, this woman did, very pro-life things. And then she has a very pro-abortion daughter saying, thank you for choosing this.
Right.
Why is it okay, for her mother to choose that, but for
Choose
other
life,
people
right.
to choose death?
Yeah, that would have been a truly terrible thing for her to have aborted both of them.
It's just
hypocritical.
the hypocrisy of the godless left and people like Oprah Winfrey, these godless degenerates on the left.
Yeah.
I don't think, I sometimes wonder, do they recognize it and just don't care, or are they so stupid that they don't recognize it?
I don't know. I mean, it's just
You
she
wouldn't-
just has such a following. It doesn't matter. Like somebody else in the pro-life movement that says that they're pro-life, but they have such a large following, the people don't listen to it.
I know exactly who you're talking
I know.
about.
It just amazes me.
It does amaze me. The disconnect there is unbelievable.
But in Oprah Winfrey's case, I honestly think it just turns out to be selfishness. She's, like, oh, I'm thankful
I got
for my
mine.
life.
Right.
I'm successful,
Very
So
successful.
it all worked out good for me. I don't, the rest of the babies, they can be aborted. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Michelle and Obama love her.
Right. Oh,
They
listen,
should-
don't get me
yeah.
started on that. Michelle Obama was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area the last couple of days, and she paid some surprise visit on some classroom somewhere, and these kids all just
These
Melted
little
down over her.
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
over this complete moral defective.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got. We've got these people like Michelle Obama and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and
Ruth
Bader Ginsburg. They're all these heroes.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
And there's a new movie coming out about Ruth Ginsburg, making
Right.
her to be some hero.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
Heroin.
Disgusting.
Speaking of disgusting, this woman writes a note. This got all over social media. Skyla Rose Loesch, Loesch, posted ultrasound photo of her unborn baby,
7 week.
7-week unborn baby, and said she loved him, but said she was having him killed because it just wasn't a convenient time to have him.
You just weren't to be with us right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
listen to
said-
that. Baby, I loved you with all my heart, but you just weren't meant to be with us right now.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but obviously the baby was, because the baby was brought to life by God
Right.
in her womb. She was the one that chose not to have him at that time.
Yeah, your brother and sister would have loved you too. Rest easy, baby love. You'll never be forgotten. The problem with this, go ahead.
The problem with this is these people are sick.
Well, she is disgusting, but she had other motives. This is not just her first abortion. This is her second, so she's using it as birth control. But not just that, she's not even 21 yet. She's going to be 21, it says, in 3 months. And she says, I can finally drink now. I can finally drink now.
Right.
She killed her baby because she wanted to be selfish and go out and drink
On her birthday.
on her birthday.
So she's going to kill her baby, and one of the big advantages of this is being able to get drunk on her birthday.
Yeah, and there are pro-lifers out there that wanted to adopt this baby, and she said that she wouldn't give one of her kids to one of these people.
I'd
She
rather kill
said-
them.
She said, I don't care if you can't have kids. I'd rather have another abortion than to give my baby to any of you people.
Yeah.
These people are sick, and this woman is a complete moral degenerate, as a lot of them are. Speaking of that, you've got another one there, Renee.
And yeah, we do. It's the mom that sings the creepy lullaby at a clinic, Blessing, and we have the video of it.
Yeah, let's run this video because it's in the same vein as this letter, this note this woman wrote to her baby.
Yeah.
Let's watch this video real quickly.
My faith, there is only a thin veil or door that separates the living from the other side. And so about 2 weeks before my abortion was scheduled, I started having visions and talking to the spirit of the child that I believe had come to me. And I remember in the clinic when I was waiting for the operation or the procedure, a song came to me in my head, and out of nowhere, and it was a pretty little lullaby that came to me, and I just want to sing it to you. And I knew it was from the spirit of that child saying, it's okay. So you may recognize the song that goes, who knows how long I've loved you? You know I love you still. I will wait a lonely lifetime. If you want me to, I will. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And I truly felt that it was a blessing from the Spirit to make the decision that I need to make.
What?
She's using self-deception. That's all she's doing.
Just take an old Beatles song and rewrite the words to it. And,
First of all, she shouldn't be singing. I have to say,
well, you're a fine one.
I know
Paul.
this is coming from someone who can't sing, so she shouldn't be singing.
You couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, but
And second of all, the fact that she says the baby gave me the song, the spirit of the baby, she's admitting that her
It was a baby.
her unborn child is a baby.
right.
Yeah.
And so
The door that separates the living from the other side is what she uses. I can't imagine.
I'm telling you, this kind of goes to what we've said here many times, how abortion has destroyed the maternal instinct.
Yeah.
50 years ago, a woman who would have said something like this would have had to have been in a mental institution.
She needs to be locked up. She does have mental issues.
She's got problems.
And she wants other people to feel sorry for her and to console her and to make her feel better. But you know what? At the end of the day, and that's not one of my favorite terms, but it's true, she's going to shut that door, she's going to lay in her bed, and she is going to think about that unborn child that she had killed.
She murdered. She hired a contract killer down at Planned Parenthood or some other degenerate at another abortion mill.
Can't run away from it,
and
the truth.
and stuff like this honestly isn't shocking to me because we see this stuff all the time. Women trying to find ways to cope and to justify their killing of their babies. This is a common thing where, women will write poems or write songs or letters to the babies that they killed. This is a common thing that we see.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep, it is. It's just, it's just more example of how truly sick abortion has made our society. This is a disease. Abortion is a disease that is destroying our culture. Mm-hmm. And, I want people to understand this is not a reason to throw up your hands and give up. Mm-hmm. When you see this stuff, this is the reason that we fight.
That's right.
Then we have to keep fighting.
Right.
Because God expects us to oppose this. Whether he's going to deliver the victory, not us. He's going to deliver it in his time and in his way. But our challenge and our duty is to fight.
Right.
That's right.
Especially because the preborn can't defend themselves against craziness like this.
Right, yeah.
So they need someone else to do it for them.
It's not craziness, Sheila. It's evil.
Well,
these people are just evil.
It's a mixture
Yeah,
of
it is.
things.
Well,
You
these
can't-
people are crazy
yeah.
to defend evil, but
Well,
evil is the root cause of
But
this.
you can't say that this woman isn't crazy. This
Right.
woman who's singing some lullaby,
Yeah,
that
it's-
came to her in a dream or vision or whatever.
Yeah,
From
there's
the
a, there's
baby,
a,
yeah.
I often say there's a fine line between a vision and a hallucination, and this woman has crossed over that line.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, this is why we have to fight.
That's right.
And when we come back from RoeBots, we're going to be talking about violence committed against born people in the pro-choice side. But anyway, let's take a moment for RoeBots, and then we'll come back for that.
In 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court legalized abortion nationwide. The decision is called Roe versus Wade, and those who defend it are known as RoeBots. This is how they think.
What gives you the right to tell others what to believe? And what gives you the right to tell a woman she can't terminate her pregnancy?
In the first place, to contend that the pro-life movement is trying to tell people what to believe is absurd. Laws are not passed to control beliefs. They are passed to control behaviors. That is what Martin Luther King meant when he said that the law could not make people love him, but it could keep people from lynching him. In the case of abortion, the pro-life movement has no interest in what people believe about the unborn as long as they don't kill them. As for the pregnancy termination issue, This is another textbook example of pro-choice double talk. These people are fully aware that we are not trying to prevent pregnancy terminations. All pregnancies terminate, every one of them. The only question is whether they terminate with live babies or dead babies. And the abortion industry is paid quite well to make sure they terminate with dead babies. Now, if the question is, what gives us the right to tell a woman she can't have an abortion? The answer is absolutely nothing. In a free society of laws, no one gets to decide what activities others may or may not engage in. As individuals, we have no more right to tell a woman she can't hire someone to kill her unborn child than we have the right to tell her she can't rob banks. But just as the government has the right and the responsibility to prevent bank robberies, it has the right and the responsibility to prevent the killing of innocent human beings, including those waiting to be born. And when a government fails to do this, it loses its moral authority to even exist. Okay. Some time ago, Rennie, we put out a report called Under the Radar Violence in the Conflict Over Abortion.
We did.
And it was about, or is about, we still have them, it's online, and we still have some printed copies of it, a few of them left, I think. The number of women who are killed or put in a nursing home, beat up, shot, stabbed, whatever, for refusing to have abortions. Right. And the issue here is, if you go back to the historical feminist position on abortion, it was always pro-life. Because one thing that early feminists like Susan B. Anthony or Virginia Woodhull or Elizabeth Cady Stanton or Alice Paul, who wrote the Equal Rights Amendment, or any of these women understood was that abortion was something that protected the rights of sexually irresponsible and sexually predatory males.
Right.
Yes.
And they saw it as enslavement of women and a crime against women.
Something that would definitely not further the cause of women,
Right.
but hinder.
Right. Now, the question then becomes, and we see this all the time, we've seen it time and time again, when you talk to women who either had abortions or are contemplating having abortions, about, I'd say 75% of the time, it's not their decision, it's somebody else's decision, and usually it's the male who got them pregnant. Decision.
Or the mother of
the boy that got her pregnant.
Yeah.
Right. That's very common as well. But the question then becomes, if a guy wants his girlfriend or wife or whoever to have an abortion and she refuses, then what does he do?
He takes the matter in his own hands.
He often takes matters in his own hands. Yeah. And this is one of the biggest hidden tragedies in the battle over abortion. Nobody wants to talk about this.
Well, nobody on the abortion side,
Right.
because they would make abortion look bad.
When we did this report, when you and I did this report, we limited our reporting to only women that we could document through court records and so forth, usually court records or police department records or something, that were killed, not just beat up or put in a nursing home. We only concentrate on the ones that were killed, and I think we have about 100.
Something like that. I can't remember.
We have
exactly.
about 100 sites.
All of the projects that we do are hard, but that one, oh my gosh.
Yeah, when you hear about what these people do. And so we've got this report. There's been many, many, many times more women killed for refusing to have abortions than there have been abortionists shot by people who were claimed to be pro-life.
Or
right?
Terroristic bombings on
Right.
abortion clinics.
All that. But yet they don't want to talk about that.
Right.
And these women don't count. And what I've always asked myself is, or wanted to ask these people, why does a dead abortionist count, but a dead woman, because she refused to have an abortion, why didn't she count?
To them, this woman, and they don't even, care about her baby that was killed along with her, but just collateral damage in their
in the battle.
effort to protect abortion.
Right.
And plus, this happens quite a bit. And I imagine it happens even more than we know, because the media doesn't cover it completely.
Well, let me tell you why it happens a lot more than what we know. I can tell you exactly why. If you take 100 women who are pregnant and don't want to have abortions, let's say there's 100 women out there, they've gotten pregnant, that they don't want to have abortions, but their husband, boyfriend, whoever, does want them to have an abortion, and he's potentially violent. And he says to those 100 men say to those 100 women, if you don't have an abortion, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to put you in a nursing home, or I'm going to break your leg. And we saw all these things
Stomp
happen.
on the stomach.
9 out of 10 of them are going to do it, and you'll never hear from them. You'll never hear about them. So when we found these that we found, that is the tiniest tip of the iceberg of the total number of women
Right.
that are threatened or killed or put in a nursing home or beat up.
Right, because these women were determined to keep their baby.
These women fought back.
Determined.
Right.
Yeah.
These women fought back. And so they're the tiniest of point of the needle. I mean, the tip of the iceberg. So this is a massive problem. The abortion industry knows that it's going on. We found quotes from tapes from them in the National Abortion Federation tapes where they're talking about it. They know this happens. They know that when they look out on their waiting room and there's a certain number of women sitting out there waiting to have abortions, that a pretty high percentage of them don't want to be there. They're being threatened by the male in their life. If they don't have this abortion, he'll kill her, or he'll break her arm, he'll break her leg, he'll beat her up, he'll put her in a nursing home. And we found all these examples. And we just simply put in that report only the ones who actually died.
That's right.
Not all the others that we found.
And plus, like, national news isn't going to cover it. You see these stories in local small newspapers.
Right.
And so, like, it's just the tip of the iceberg because it probably happens a lot more than
Well, we've got a story here on a case in Indiana that's we found just here a couple of days ago. This Aaron Trejo, I guess is his name. He's a player at the local high school football team. He killed his 17-year-old girlfriend, a school cheerleader, put her in a trash bin behind a restaurant, and she was 6 months pregnant.
Yep.
She concealed it from him that long because she didn't. I don't know if she knew what was going to happen, but she just didn't want to
Well,
face
the facts hadn't come out yet.
Right.
It'll come out in the trial.
Right.
But what we do know is he wanted her to have an abortion.
Yes.
She wasn't having an abortion for whatever reason.
Right.
And so he killed her and put her in a trash can.
When police detectives were questioning about it, he said she took too long to tell him about the pregnancy to get an abortion. And he said that what he did about it, I took action. I took her life.
Right.
He doesn't even mention the baby, number one. And number two, just like you were saying, when these women don't get abortions, the guys take it into their own hands.
Well, I'm just thankful that he's going to be charged as an adult, and there are 38 states that that protect the baby. That there's a crime against the child as well, not just the woman, but the child as well. So
This guy needs to rot in jail, obviously.
yes,
Hopefully he will. But, of course, and not long ago we saw, I can't remember his name, the basketball player got out of prison in Georgia, he's the first guy mentioned in our report.
oh yeah,
I can't remember his name, NBA player.
Yeah.
He hired a couple of guys to kill his girlfriend.
Sharika Adams.
Sharika Adams.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
He hired a couple of his friends,
Yep.
and he went out on the road, got beside her in the car, and cut her off so that they could get her, and they killed
Shot
her,
her, yeah.
shot her and killed her,
Yeah.
and the baby. And this is a constant theme. We see this constantly. Yes. But here's, again, I'm going to go back to my same question that I asked earlier. If today, somewhere in America, an abortionist were to be shot at an abortion clinic, it would be headline news tonight. It would be
Forever.
for weeks and weeks, maybe years.
Yeah.
There would be congressional investigations. There would be FBI investigations. There would be roundups of pro-lifers. There would be all sorts of things. We've seen this time and time and time again. And yet, there are far more women that are killed or put in nursing homes or beat up or have limbs broken or whatever for refusing to have abortions, and nobody says a word.
Nope.
And it's like Sheila was saying earlier, they're just collateral damage.
And also, when pro-lifers get assaulted or,
Nobody cares.
nobody cares either. So
Oh, that's okay. I can understand that almost. But this is an obscenity. These women are casualties, fatalities in the war over abortion.
And these are the people that they supposedly care about and are supposed
Yeah.
to be protecting.
That's right.
Well-
I was about to make that
So
point.
Planned
Yep.
Parenthood, why aren't you protecting these women?
Why aren't
and
you out here in the
girls?
streets demanding a congressional investigation into the women being forced?
Well, I mean, what can you expect from an organization that covers up child predators, like our child predators report?
Right, exactly.
You can't expect anything from these people except for them to get money off of death.
Right. It's mind numbing.
Yep.
But again, like we were saying before the break, this is why we have to fight. This is not a reason to give up. This is the reason we fight. This is the reason we do what we do. God called us into this battle. He'll take care of the results. Our duty is to fight. And I've made the point before, it's like Patton's Third Army in Europe. And there were times there, they were in the worst part of the battle against the Nazis, and it looked pretty bleak at times. You're a frontline soldier, and you're out and you're thousands of miles from home. You don't think you'll ever get back home again. You're 19 years old. You're freezing to death. You're hungry. You haven't eaten in days. You're fighting these Nazis. You're seeing your friends get all their heads blown off. It doesn't change the fact. Your duty is to do your duty.
And there will eventually be an end.
There will, and you have to have faith in the general. Those men had faith in their general. When it was General Patton, they had faith in him. We got to have faith in God. God has told us the same thing that Patton told his men. You do your duty, and we'll win this thing, and everything will be fine. They believed it, and it happened. We've got to do the same thing. We've got to believe our general the way the Patton's men in his Third Army believed him, and we'll have the same results.
And, you know, during the holidays and around Christmas time, things kind of slow down for the pro-life movement across the board. And that's understandable. You know, you want to spend time with your family and, you know, enjoy the holidays.
And not think about babies being
But,
killed.
you know, once we get back at it, you know, the pro-life movement needs to pick up again and really go hard at it.
Right.
It's important to remember to, you know, keep up the pace and pick it up.
And keep your mind right. Yep.
That's right.
Got anything else? We're done.
I don't have anything. No, just we enjoy your show suggestions. Please send them in to us. If you do and we use your show suggestion, if I can talk, you'll get this mug. So thank you. We appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas.
Yep. Well, anyway, you got anything else, Doppy?
Just looking forward to Christmas. And, you know, then after Christmas, we'll be back here and ready to go. And hope everybody else is
Stay after
too.
it. We're going to stay after the fight. We're not quitting, not going away. So anyway, that's it. Until next Tuesday, remember, Life Dynamics is not here to put up a good fight. We're here to win, because winning is how the killing stops. We'll see you next time.